All right, Millie, I need your help today. We're going to show the boys and girls the stream and the swimming hole. And Millie says, what are you talking about? I've never been to the swimming hole. So we're going to get really quiet. Millie and I are going to take you across the street from our cabin. And we're going to show you. She's hiding. She's going right up my sleeve. Look at that, silly Millie. So when we came up here on Friday night and we rolled down the windows and we were listening, I said, oh my, it sounds like it's raining outside. And Todd said, no, it's not raining. That's the stream. And I said, huh? And he said, yeah, there's a mountain stream right across the street. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, yes. At the top of the mountain, he said, there's a mountain stream that goes all the way down the mountain. And usually, there's not enough water that it doesn't even make noise. And at the bottom, it collects in what we call the swimming hole. We like to take our inflatable tubes there and just float around some days when it's really hot. And then it breaks off into another stream that flows all the way into the pond that we've been exploring all summer. So I thought for our last lesson, we would take all of our tools from our pond kit and we would go down and explore the swimming hole. So we'll take all those things. We'll take our net, we'll take our jars, we'll take our underwater viewers, and we will go and explore the swimming hole. So we live at the bottom of the trailhead. So if we were to hike up there, you could hike all the way to the top of the mountain. And you could see all the little springs that feed the stream that feeds the pond we've been exploring. And remember I said we're sort of at the middle of the mountain. So if when we come and we walk up this way, we come up the road and we come to our trail. And then this is the hiking trail that heads up all the way to the mountain. Todd enjoys coming up here with Spencer. I prefer floating and swimming. So maybe next summer, since we did all about the pond this summer, maybe next summer we'll work on some things in the forest. And maybe we'll make the forest environment our investigation for next summer. All right? So we're leaving the trail. Here's our neighbors. So we're gonna head down to what we call the swimming hole. And we'll check out and see what's going on down there. So we like to go down to the swimming hole, and we have these big inner tubes that we float in, and Spencer will sit on Todd's tummy and we'll just kind of float along in the lazy river. It's very quiet up here in the mountains. You can see we don't have many neighbors, but we do get a lot of hikers and bikers. They like to come and do the mountain trail. And this is where Spencer takes his walks in the morning and in the evening. He's a little bit nervous to go out at night because there are bear. I've never actually seen a bear up here, but we see evidence of them in the morning. Sometimes if Todd is up early, he'll see some bear poopy in the road, and he'll know we had a visit from a bear. Now this section of road down here is more of a meadow. You can start to see the trees are thinning out. We're getting near the bottom of the mountain, and down here is where we see a lot of deer. So if you get up very early, or usually right after dinner time is a good time to go looking for deer around here. You can see them usually eating in that meadow. And when we get to the bottom of our street, there's this little place where the mountain stream comes down and it makes a river, and that river goes off and heads towards the pond. And we're gonna pull in and I'll find a nice place to read a story. And this is just a little bit upstream from that pond that we've been exploring, but I brought all of our gear and we're going to compare and contrast maybe how the environment looks and what kind of wildlife we see, and we'll have to check it out. So this is the stream, and it hardly ever runs to the point where you get these big fancy waterfalls. And it's never ever this deep. This is probably as deep as a swimming pool in the deep end, and then it's got a little shallow end. So I'm gonna find a quieter spot to read, and then we'll do a little exploring. So our book today is called In the Tall, Tall Grass, and all along this stream, this mountain stream, is a lot of tall, tall grass. And the funny story behind this book is the author writes a similar version. In addition to In the Tall, Tall Grass, she also has In the Small, Small Pond. And when I was packing, I grabbed the wrong book. But we're lucky because up here, just right outside our cabin door, we have lots of different microenvironments. So there's the river. There's Spencer. He's going to do some exploring while I read. So I'm going to sit down in the tall, tall grass, and we will read about what's going on in this environment. In the Tall, Tall Grass by Denise Fleming. And like I said, she has another chapter of this story called In the Small, Small Pond. But this one's slightly different. So, In the Tall, Tall Grass. In the tall, tall grass. In the tall, tall grass. Crunch, munch, caterpillar's lunch. Dart, dip, hummingbird sip. Strum, drum, bees hum. Crack, snap, wings flap. Pull, tug, ants lug. Slip, slide, snakes glide. Rich, ratch, Moles scratch. Skitter scurry, beetles hurry. Zip zap, tongues snap. Hip hop, ears flop. Stop, go, fireflies glow. Lunge, loop, bats swoop. It's a little too early in the day for bats. Stars bright, moonlight. Good night, tall, tall grass. So as I was sitting here in our tall, tall grass, I've seen a few interesting things. We've got some wolf snails. These guys are cousins of Gary, only they're carnivores. And they are all over this tall, tall grass. Look, there's two on this blade right there. So Gary, we know, was an herbivore. These wolf snails are carnivores. They'll eat insects and even other snails. So we've got a lot of tall, tall grasses. We've got some of this, looks like it's going to be late fall milkweed for different kinds of butterflies. Another thing we see a lot of up at the cabin are hummingbirds. And you'll occasionally see them down by the stream, but they are extremely hard to take pictures of. So what we do to enjoy them is we hang a sugar water bird feeder, and then we can just sit on our couch and watch them come up through the window. But they are super fast, and it's hard for me to take pictures of them while I'm reading. So the fun thing about using this camera is that I can actually slow down the video. So here you can see the same hummingbird doing the same thing, and even slowed down, look at how quickly her wings are beating. She can hover, she can move side to side, and hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backwards. Now we'll actually go down into the stream and see what we can find and what we can take pictures of. We got some little fish in here. Oh, Spence is helping. Maybe we'll try scooping some and then we'll use our underwater viewer. Right, see that little fish? Catch him? Where'd he go? Over here. See? You getting him?
Oh, yeah, so.
There we go. Got some fishies. We'll have to go float and see what else we can find. So we're gonna float in this section. Normally we float down there, but there's a family, so we're gonna walk upstream a little bit and we'll see if we can do this section as a lazy river. But now we're situated. It's a little bit too wild to really look for much pond life. We did find some fish, and we'll keep an eye out for some insects. So one science tool we haven't talked about yet is my waterproof phone case. And it occurred to me that the water was a little too rough to see things from above the water, but if I could get my camera and phone to go below the water, we might have a little bit of luck. So here's what we saw when I dropped my phone into the stream. And you can see all the beautiful colors of the different rocks and all the little different fish. But it was a very quickly running stream that day, so all the fish are kind of getting banged around. Spence, did we turn you into a water dog? You've even got your tail in. Remember when you didn't like the water? You're a pro now that you're 8 years old. Can you say goodbye to all the boys and girls, Spence? We're not going to see them for a whole year. All right. I think Spencer says goodbye, friends, but he looks like he's napping. So this is Millie and my final goodbye. You won't be seeing us anymore this summer. We're getting ready to teach kindergarten in the fall. So we're going to take a year break from being the science team. And hopefully a year from now, when coronavirus is a memory, we'll be back in the science lab. We'll miss you until then.